on this computer. All right, my beautiful selfish babes. It is your girl Olenike Osibowale here on this beautiful Thursday, okay, the day of Jupiter, a day of expansion. I want to thank my selfish babes for joining on this chat. I've decided to call this Clubhouse chat Dreams and Goals All Day, but without belief, what are they? That's not actually what I wanted to call it. What I actually wanted to call it was a title of an email that I had sent out today. Now, before I get completely started, I just want to say if you are new to me or the app, my name is Olenike Osibowale. I am the CEO and founder of Selfish Babe. And what Selfish Babe is my personal development and lifestyle brand where I'm teaching women how to be selfishly and authentic with themselves through using spiritual self-love practices, which is something that I've been doing for the past 6 years now. And so we do have an app called Selfish Babe that'll send you a daily affirmation and self-love reminder a day, as well as a podcast called the Selfish Babe Selfish Talk Podcast, which is recording live at this moment. So I want to say thank you guys for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. And today I felt called to come into Clubhouse, right? And I wanted to talk about belief because I believe that is so very important. And so I want to read to you all something that I had written for my email list today. And I just want to make sure that this is known. This is an open room. So at any point in time, if you have a question, if you just want to chat as well on stage, just raise your hand and I will let you up as well. So it's let you know it's open at any point in time. So on my email list today, I have sent an email and this is what I have said. I said, you can have dreams and goals, but what happens when you don't believe they are possible for you? They stay dreams and goals, but nothing lived. I think a lot of times when I'm hearing conversations around being successful, right? I think a lot of people's idea of success could be a lot of money, a big house, car. I think it's honestly freedom. For me, it's freedom. Freedom to be able to do what I would like to do without the worry of money or any type of restrictions. And so money does bring freedom, but of course there's other aspects in life that can bring freedom. And so a lot of times when people are talking about dreams and goals and different things or success, many times people are talking about the strategy or talking about the actions they put into, making themselves successful or making their business successful or making themselves successful. And I think sometimes it's often overlooked about what that internal work looks like, right? What does the internal work look like to want to go after a dream or a goal or something, quote unquote, successful, right? What does it look like, the internal work? So instead of focusing on the action-oriented parts of what you may need to do physically for success, we don't talk about what you have to do on the internal level, right? And so I'm going to repeat the quote again. You can have dreams and goals, but what happens when you don't believe they are possible? They stay dreams and goals, but nothing lived. And I know you want to live them. I know you don't just want your dreams to be dreams or just a hope that maybe someday they will be true for you. What if I told you that your lack of belief in your dreams and goals is one of the reasons why you are in the same situation from last year or the years before, right? And I mentioned this because sometimes I think we can find ourselves seeing the same things year after year, same people, same patterns, which I'm going to talk about now. And so it's like, why are these same things happening? I want something different. And so I'm going to continue. Maybe you've noticed a pattern in your life, a pattern of not having enough money, a pattern of dating two different people, but really they turn out to be the same, a pattern of the same people around you thinking and doing the same things they did last year. No growth. If you notice these things, a pattern, then this is good. It means you are aware, which is actually a really powerful place to be in because some people are not even aware, right? But if you're aware, this is beautiful. How can you start to make your dreams and goals lived experiences? It starts with belief in them. Write down a goal and think, do I really believe in this for myself? Right? So for example, if I wrote down the goal, my business is making $1 million this year. Maybe I wrote down the goal, my business is making millions of dollars this year. And I wrote that down. I would have to think, well, do I really believe this for myself? And when my own personal business, because I do have a business called Goddess Detox as well, which is a multi-million-dollar spiritual women's wellness brand. On the days where maybe I made $1,000 in a week or maybe $500 in a week, I may not have believed that. And I don't want to say that I didn't believe that at the time because I believe I did, but I may not have believed that because I maybe have never seen it. So in the email that I sent out, I said, write down a goal and think, Do I really believe in this for myself? And what comes up for you? Maybe you write down a goal and you're like, I don't really think this is possible for me. Or maybe you feel a little weird feeling in your stomach, right? A little tightness in your stomach, and you're like, you wrote it down, but do you really believe it? So this is why I said, what comes up for you? Write that down, because that's very important. And I said, one thing you can do is to start to expand your mind and your energy to the idea that this thing is possible for you. That every day doesn't have to feel like the same old, that there is more out there for you, no matter your color, your sex, or your income status. But dot, dot, dot. That's probably what you may start thinking. But this big but comes up in your mind. But I have this type of life. I have this type of experience. So it really couldn't be possible for me, because sometimes we can write down a goal and we can feel very ambitious in our spirit, but then you have these thoughts that come up like, but no, it's not going to happen because of this, or no, it's not going to happen because of this, or no, it's not going to happen because of this, right? And I said, and my dear, if you keep thinking like this, then this is what will keep you in the same cycles and the same patterns, only wishing that your life was different, but doing nothing about it. And when I say this, I mean that big but, those big buts that come up in your mind when you think of a dream or your goal or something different that you want for yourself in your life. These big buts come up into your mind, and those are something that you have to tackle. Continuing, you have to tackle that but. Why does it keep coming up? What do you have to release and let go of so that you can truly believe? One spiritual self-love practice that helps me to expand my belief in myself and what's possible for me, even when it looks and feels impossible, is by me saying, I am open to believing that, quotations, insert dream or goal, is possible for me. So like I mentioned, if I said, hey, I want my business to make $1 million this year, and maybe I wrote that down as my goal and my dream, and I really didn't, like, I had a little resistance, right? That but came, right? There was a reason. Oh, I see somebody's raising their hand. Let me get them. Gina. Oops. Hey, Gina, I'm gonna have you talk in a second. I just want to say this part. Can you hear me? Is she up? Oh, maybe she's not. Maybe I didn't do it right. Let me see. Well, I added her if she wants to come up. So if I say I'm open to believing that my business will make $1 million, my business is making $1 million, it's possible for me, then what that does is help to shift the energy. The energy of you being receptive to this belief, right? Because you can say, I believe that my business is making $1 million this year, right? But if your body has resistance and you don't quite believe it, you may find that a hard belief to embed into your body, into your energy, and into your mind. So instead, what you want to do is be open. What you want to do is be receptive. I am open to believing that blank, insert dream or goal, is possible for me. Hey, Gina, I keep trying to add you. I don't know why it's not adding you, but I keep pressing. Oh, here you are. Hi, Gina. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. What is up?
I guess it's the universe that made this happen, because I accidentally must have pressed the raise my hand by mistake.
Okay.
So maybe it's the universe that's telling me that I need to ask some questions and really, really try to find out from you ways to really, really manifest my dreams and my desires.
Yes.
Opposed to, so this was definitely in the universe, because I can do this.
Lovely. Yes. And this is one of the things, belief. It's really big, but continue.
So, my I think my biggest thing is fear and procrastination. Okay. Knowing, having these dreams and these desires, on so many different levels, and then, just being fearful of, okay, is it going to happen? Is it not? One thing that I did I did learn over the last couple of months was like manifestation, and just really, really putting out what's going to happen into the universe. So for instance, I wanted to move.
Yes.
And I had been wanting to move for like 3 years, and it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then it never happened. And then I want to say in November, I was like, okay, Spirit said to me, speak into the universe what you want.
Yes.
Speak it out and say it and believe it so hard, and it will happen. Yes. And it happened.
Ashe. So you have finally moved.
So I finally moved. Yeah. I'm in a different space.
I have a question. Before you ask your next thing, my question is, why do you think that this time you moved versus moving 3 years ago? Because it seems like you put that out there, but you never moved. So what do you think that difference was?
I think the difference was actually believing that it would actually happen, opposed to me saying, okay, this is what I want to do, and okay, I'm going to do it. I just actually just said it's going to happen. Like this, I'm going to move, and I kept waking up every day saying this is what I'm going to do. But then, and so that worked as far as moving. And I'm in a different space and in a more peaceful space. But I'm like, okay, now what's next?
Yes, which is up to
am
you.
I manifesting my relationship to grow, or should I be manifesting, me personally, spiritually to grow? What do I do next? Okay, I need to do this, but I want to do that. So what do I do?
I have a question. Okay, so
yes.
I heard you say something. And you had said, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? Now, why? Why did should come up? Why did it seemed like a regulation? Why did should come up? Should I do this or should I do that?
Because I think it's fear. I think something that we all suffer from is like fear. Fear of it not happening the way you want it to happen. Fear of it not going the way it should, or not having enough to make it happen.
Okay, so my question. So you said not having enough to make it happen. Is
yes.
that why it's like either or, because one seems easier than the other?
I think.
Or no? Because I have another thought too.
I'm thinking it's more of a thing of not so much that it's not going to happen, but like, am I making the right decision? I guess because like I do law enforcement for a living, and it's not me. Like I'm outside of my box, and I want to change. Like I don't want to do this. I've been doing it for 15 years, but I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And because it's not me. Like I go into this space and I'm like an outsider. So I'm like, okay, so I want to start a business. Okay, so all right, so I'll get like right now I'm reading a couple of books, for myself, and I picked it up last night and I said, okay, I'm gonna dedicate 1 hour to reading when I'm off because I can't take a book to work.
Yeah.
So I'm reading Think Rich,
nice.
Think and Grow Rich.
Nice.
That's what I'm reading right now. And I picked up the book last night and I was like, okay, you're gonna read this. So I was like, so I opened it up and I'm like, okay, so where do I start? And one thing that I have learned is when you're reading a book, you don't have to start at the beginning.
Yes, that's
true. You can
true.
always start at the end or in the middle. You just pick a chapter. So I picked the chapter.
Yes.
And the actual chapter that I picked, which is so ironic, the chapter that I picked is about decision.
What'd you get from it?
I haven't through it yet because I've been running all day.
Yeah.
But the little bit that I did get through it was, you can't be afraid to make like these changes.
Yes.
The fear of it not happening. You have to just step into it, make a decision. This is what I'm going to do it, and let the chips fall where they like. Because at the end of the day, God, the universe always has your back.
Yes.
Especially when you're humble and you're doing the right thing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. I want to mention something, Gina. I think it's perfectly divine that when you were flipping through and you were like, what chapter should I land on? You landed on one about decisions. Because I will say this, sometimes like when you have books or a Bible or just something, right? And you're like, because sometimes I do this. I'm like, I really need a message right now. What you can do is get a book and you could be like, touch the book to your head and your heart and be like, hey, I'm just open into hearing a message that I need to know right now, and then flip it to a page and read it and see if it resonates with you. It may not always resonate with you, but it's something that you can do. And I said, like any book or any Bible, it doesn't have to be spiritual, it could just be a book. But sometimes when you read that, that's the message that you needed. And so when Gina had talked about landing on a chapter about decisions, I thought that was divine. And the reason I say this because when I first heard you talk, Gina, you had talked about what should you be doing, right? And for me, when I hear should, I hear boundaries. When I hear should, I hear have to. I hear what is in line, right? What is in line? Like what's next? But I would really urge you to maybe start thinking from this perspective and not should, but what is it that I actually desire? What is next for me? Because it's not an either or. You can have this and that. But where do you want to start first and where do you want to go? And just like you had mentioned, you started at any point in a chapter. You didn't go to the beginning. So even when we're talking about our manifestations, it's not, hey, I'm going to manifest this and then this, right? That may be how it happens actually in terms of how it does manifest. Different things manifest at different times, but it doesn't mean that you're going to say you're going to put your manifestations in steps. You know what I'm trying to say? If Gina was like, hey, I want a different job and I want to, like, that's the next thing that you want to manifest, cool. If you're like, I want to focus on my love life, that's cool. If it's like my spiritual development, that's cool, right? And so I just want to put anybody on right now. It's like, when you are doing your own personal manifestations, what is it that you desire? What do you want for yourself? Because you have to know that. And what are you choosing for yourself? Because you are choosing. And it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't matter what you choose because it's for you. And I always say that we want to be blessings to ourselves, right? And so we want to make sure we make the choices that benefit us and not choices that are detrimental. But maybe one day you manifested something that you maybe didn't like. You thought you was going to like it, but you really didn't. Guess what? You can always start again. You can always do a new manifestation. You can always switch directions, right? It doesn't have to be this or that, or should I do this first and then that. So I just wanted to say that to you, Gina, because that's something I did mention. I'm like, it don't matter. You do what you want to do. What is it that you really desire?
Okay.
So yes.
I'm going to work on it. I thank you, Ashe.
Ashe, thank you, beautiful. And again, for anybody that is in the audience, you can raise your hand at any point in time. This is an open conversation. And again, my name is Olanike Osibowale, CEO and founder of Selfish Babe, as well as my other company, Goddess Detox. So I'm going to continue the email that I was reading that I had sent out to my audience today. And we're talking about beliefs, right? What are your dreams and goals without beliefs? And what your dreams and goals are without our beliefs is nothing but, they are just, they stay dreams and goals, but nothing lives. And so I'm going to get back to where I was. Okay, I gave an example because I was going through something yesterday with thinking about belief and what is actually possible for me. And so I said, just yesterday, I was high key stressing out about something that looked hella impossible for me and let myself sit in that. I complained, let it out, right? I was, getting some resistance. I'll say that, let's say you're trying to do something, but it seems impossible. And then the reasons why it seems impossible be popping up. You know what I'm trying to say? The reasons why it seems impossible pop up. And then you have other people telling you why it's probably impossible. And so it's just like that goes into your own energy. And then you may start to doubt yourself and your own personal belief. And that's never good because sometimes the things that we want for ourselves, other people may not want and they don't think it's possible. So you can't rely on their personal opinion of what's not possible because, bitch, if you rely on their opinion of what's not possible, then guess what? You don't believe it's possible either, okay? And we don't want to do that. So a lot of times some things that we want and we desire, they may seem possible for the rest of the world, but when you decide that this is what you want and you've decided this is possible for you and you've opened up your spirit to believing this is possible for you, then what have you made it? You made it impossible to possible. And so yesterday I was just high key stressing about something, and then these boundaries, these things kept popping up to help me believe of, oh, maybe this is not possible. So when I said that I sat in it, that's what I did. I sat in those feelings. I complained, let it out. But later that evening, I decided that I wasn't going to focus on the impossible, but to focus on the possible in big bold letters for me. I decided that I was going to speak on the situation in a way that favors me, but also leaves it open to amazing miracles to show up in my life involving the situation. And this is how I begin to shift the energy in my favor. This is when we're talking about the spiritual self-love work that I talk about. Where we're talking about energy, we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about the unseen world, right? I always talk to my selfish babes like, your world that you are looking at right now is more than your physical reality. There is an unseen reality. There is a spiritual realm that is working that you may not physically see, but shit is happening there. And so this is what I'm talking about, beginning to shift the energy. I decided I was going to speak on the situation in a way that favors me, but also leaves it open to amazing miracles to show up in my life involving the situation. So I can be like the universe, I can be like the creator, I can be like the creatrix, I can be like my beautiful ancestors, my spirit guides, right? I'm leaving it up for them to present me miracles because I'm starting to believe in what is possible for me. So I said, this is what makes me the goddess that I am. This is also what makes you the goddess that you are. I am the one co-creating. And if I say it's possible and I open my mind to this and I'm speaking this, then it's possible as fuck. And I want you guys to believe in that. I want you guys to know that you are the one co-creating your reality and it's possible. And to open up your mind that is possible as fuck. So I said, so try that next time. But when those butts inch into your head and expands your beingness for more. So again, it's like you have this major goal, and then you look at it, and you may feel a little twinge, and these butts, all the butts of why it can't happen, may start popping up in your head. And so when you say that it's possible for you, you're able to expand your beingness into believing. And so I have an affirmative prayer to say. And I wrote this in my email. I'll post it later today on the Selfish Babe page. You can follow the @SelfishBabe page by clicking on my profile, and then you'll see the Instagram. But I said, say this with me. And at times when it's hard and you need something to give yourself that extra push into believing better for yourself. Because that's what we need sometimes. Sometimes we just need a push into believing better for ourselves. And when I tell you that it's such a very powerful spiritual self-love practice, right? Why am I saying that this is a practice of self-love? It's a practice of self-love because when you believe in better for yourself, you're receiving better, which means you are treating yourself better, right? When you're not believing what's possible for you, then you are locking yourself in a cage, right? Because you don't believe that these things are possible for you. And so if you don't believe these things are possible for you, that is an energy of an aspect of a lack of self-love. Now, I'm not saying that every time you don't believe something is not possible for you, that you lack self-love. I'm saying that it's an aspect and a little bit, right? Because what I want you guys to do, and what I'm urging my own self to do as well, is to open up my beingness into miracles, to open up my beingness into that everything is possible for me. There is no limitations. It's all abundance, right? And so I have this affirmative prayer that I wrote out, and I'll post this later on the page. I'm going to read this, and I want you guys to really listen to this, and really take this in. And for those that are new to affirmative prayers, it's another spiritual self-love technique that I do to basically send energy into my body so that I can strengthen my mind and strengthen my body, because that energy is real. The words that you speak is real. When you speak these words into your body, they go into your cells and some shit shifts, right? You are shifting your universe. You are manipulating the energy into your favor. All right, so I'm going to read it. I'm open to what may seem impossible for me. I know that impossible is just an illusion. All is possible for me. I am open to expanding my mind to something greater. I am open to expanding my mind to self-belief. I am open to expanding myself to overflow. I am open to expanding myself to be supported no matter my situation. I am open to my receiving unexpected money into my account. I am open to receiving unexpected money increasing opportunities in my life. Right? I didn't want to just limit it just to money in your account. I am open to treating myself like the precious gem that I am, because you are. I am open to speaking kinder to myself. I am open to giving myself more compassion. I am open to my wildest dreams being lived experiences for me, right? They're not just dreams, you want to live them. I am open to more. It is possible for me. It's possible as fuck. Ashe. And I want to read this to you all, but I want to say this over you versus me reading it to you, right? That's something that you could read to yourself in times. And again, I'm going to post this later on the gram. I'm going to read this for you guys. I'm affirming that I don't mess this up. All right, listen, 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 listen. You are open to what may seem impossible for you. You know that impossible is just an illusion. All is possible for you. You are open to expanding your mind to something greater. You are open to expanding your mind to self-belief. You are open to expanding yourself to overflow. You are open to expanding yourself to be supported no matter your situation. You are open to receiving unexpected money into your account, Ashe. You are open to receiving unexpected money increasing opportunities into your life. You are open to treating yourself like the precious gem that you are. You are open to speaking kinder to yourself. You're open to giving yourself more compassion. You're open to your wildest dreams being lived experiences for you. You are open for more. It is possible for you. It's possible as fuck. Ashe. So, right? I don't know how any of you guys felt, but if you want to raise your hand, let me know. Let me know. Because I want to know. Because I want to know, how did you feel hearing that? How did you feel listening to that? Whether it was coming from the I perspective, right? Or whether it was coming from the you perspective. All right, I got someone. Shaniqua, I hope I said your name right. All right, I just added you. Let's see if it goes up. Mm-hmm. Did I add you, Shaniqua? I'm adding the button, but I'm not sure if it's going up. Oh, there you are. Hey, love.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I feel blessed. How are you today?
Shay, I love that. I'm doing great. So what's up?
And I really enjoyed the affirmations because it really made me feel empowered. And also for the past couple days, I had an opportunity came to me, and honestly, I really felt scared because it was the same route I took, but it didn't work out a few times.
Yeah.
So, and it came to me again, and I'm like, why? Why is this coming to me again? I was anxious and crying and some more stuff the whole entire weekend, and I was like, okay, Shaniqua, you have to decide, like, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And I also decided to do both, and hearing these affirmations is making me, it's like a sign, a confirmation saying all this shit is possible if you really do believe in yourself.
That's it. It is all possible. And I think that, growing up in everyday life or in society, we may see a lot of things on the news. I don't really watch the news like that, just so you know. Not saying that y'all do, but you may see a lot of things that reflect that it may be impossible for you, right? Stereotypes, different things like that. But then when you open your mind and your body and your spirit to possibilities, more things come to you that even like with you, Shaniqua, surprised you. It came back to you again. And you're like, okay, why?
Like, why the fuck is coming to me? I thought I accepted, like, this is not going to work out months ago, and now this coming back?
Yes, yes, yes. And sometimes things will come back around, but it's so important. It's so important that we believe that more is for us. And it's important that we understand this in our mind and expanding our mind, which is why I'm telling you guys these affirmative prayers. This is why I'm telling you guys the affirmations. That's why we have the Selfish Faith app, so you can get those daily affirmations to your phone, because you want to expand your mind for more, but you want to embed that into your freaking body. When you are speaking those words are energy going into your body, going into yourselves. It is strengthening your body. It is strengthening your spirit, and it is strengthening your mind. And when you have a strong spirit and a strong mind, it is very hard to break you down. But you have to learn, as the goddesses that you are, to build that up, which is why I call it one of my spiritual self-love practices, because you have to build yourself up in that way. You have to understand that you have the power to manipulate and shift the energy in your life to one that you really, really love. Now, Shaniqua, is there anything else you'd like to express or say?
No, I think I've expressed enough.
Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for letting me share.
Yes, bye. All right, if anybody else wants to raise their hand and come up, I am accepting more guests. I'm just letting you guys know at any point in time, it is okay to raise your hand, come up on stage, share something, express something, etc. And so yes, this prayer that I just spoke about, just being open to the possibility. And the reason why I mentioned this before, I say open because a lot of times we may have guards up or boundaries up to where we may not be open to those possibilities. And so instead of sometimes saying, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe in myself, I believe in myself, I believe in myself, we may need to alter that affirmation, that affirmative prayer, right? To I am open to believing in myself. I am open to believing myself. I am open to believing in myself. Because you don't know, honestly, you may not know what ties that are around you, what blockages that are around you, right? We have different energy systems called chakras in the body, and some of those may be blocked in different ways, and we don't know. So it's like one thing that you can do is to speak specific affirmations about being open in certain ways so that you don't have a door closed and so that your doors aren't locked and that your energy can be able to flow and to open up to more possibilities. And so I'm just saying that this is one of the spiritual self-love practices that I talk about in my Selfish as Fuck Academy, which I have coming up April 1st, where basically I'm teaching women how to tap into the goddesses that they are. I'm teaching them how to pray for yourself using affirmative prayer, right? How to speak into your vagina using pussy affirmations and tap in there. How to use your vagina to manifest the shit that you actually want into your life. How to make your spiritual baths, right? How to make your spiritual baths for attracting, cleansing, adding more sweetness into your life. Because all of this play, all of these things that I'm talking about is energy. And I just want more women to understand that you have the power to change your life, right? That all is possible for you no matter what. I've seen too many people's impossible stories turn into possibilities to now where I'm like, bitch, it's possible for me. It's possible for me. Even yesterday when I was having a freaking moment that I told you guys I was having with myself, by the end of the evening, I came back into that belief that it's possible for me. But that was a new boundary and barrier that I had to break because that was something new. I have a new goal, right? And sometimes when we have new goals, it's like, bitch, that goal, maybe the goal of $800,000 in a year was, you know, an impossible goal. But then, bitch, you're like, I want 2 million this year. But then you got a little in your spirit, and it's like, bitch, you really believe this? How can we break that? Because we want to break those barriers so that we remember that more is possible for us. And so I do want to wrap up this Clubhouse conversation. If anybody has any questions or anything to say, I am accepting any last minute callers. Please raise your hand. I'll bring you up on stage. But if you guys are interested in learning how to tap into yourself in this way and learning about spiritual self-love, what practices to use, how to tap into your pussy power, how to pray for yourself in a powerful way in making declarations, not just begging, and how to really shift your reality and really begin to be the altar so that you can start honoring yourself as the goddess that you are. I am starting my Selfish as Fuck Academy that is beginning April 1st. And basically in that academy, it's an 8-week group program where I am teaching all of the spiritual self-love tools that have helped me in the last 6 years. And so if you are interested, just DM me Spiritual Self-Love on Instagram, or you can click the link in my bio. But if you want to chat about it, we can talk more about it. I want to thank the lovely ladies tonight for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Please tune into the Selfish Babe Selfish Talk podcast, top 200 podcasts on Apple. And please also follow at Selfish Babes with an S on Instagram. And also add, okay, the Selfish Babe Club. I have like so many different things. But I just want to say thank you guys. I love you guys. And I'm out. Mwah. Bye.